and sustainable eating and exercise solutions to have routines that run on autopilot, so they don't take a ton of time, and in fact they give you more time because this stuff is kind of, you have an automated system. So without systems and routines, health and fitness becomes something that either remains in that corner of your life that, I'll get to it later, or ends up being something that is, stressful or takes more time. So we need to have structures and routines. And for the listeners here on this podcast, those that are probably like, well, I am in good shape and I do eat healthy and I do exercise, obviously you can reflect and say it's because you have the right habits in place. And so a large part of what I do is really, help people address the I don't have enough time by installing those health operating systems, if you will, that make the high leverage health habits around nutrition, exercise, sleep, and mindset, pretty automated.
Well, I have to bring this up because it's probably what you see nearly every day. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm 42, like I said. I'd like to think I look, act, and have those habits that you mentioned. And all the tests I've done over the years generally have come back very positively. Blood work, but until recently, I've had an iron absorption problem. My thyroid numbers have gotten a little wonky, and I'm working with a functional medicine doctor myself. So for my audience, I take this stuff seriously. And then I decided to do a telomere test to see what the length of my telomeres were. And I was absolutely shocked, Doc, to find out the length of my telomeres were of a 61-year-old.
Oh, man.
This is a person that I think I take care of myself. And then you start looking at it and dialing back and seeing what you're doing or how you're acting or how you're thinking that doesn't align with these healthy habits. What would you say to me, or what would you say if I was your patient or a person describing this to you?
Well, I mean, so we'll look at the telomere thing first, because I think that's very interesting, and it's something specific that you brought up is for those that aren't necessarily familiar, telomeres are parts of the end caps of basically DNA that is predictive of how long you're going to live. It's kind of like that the burning the wick on a candle, and as telomeres and cells divide and telomeres get shorter, you are going to get to a point where you kind of fizzle out too, right? And so we want to maximize telomere length. And so what I would look at is if it's shorter than it should be predicted for your age, what are we doing to burn that down? And it's often going to be some kinds of, maybe, stressors, oxidative damage. And there's going to be some stuff that we could look at in your lifestyle to why your wick is burning so fast and so hard. And for most people that I work with, there's always more that we can do on the sleep recovery and rejuvenation side of things that is so important and overlooked. I think a lot of us want to live a very productive, high-performing life. And this is me actually this is a confession too. We want to run like this high performance life. So we run very fast. We run our bodies very fast, and we feel that we are doing a good job with the fuel. And we're not necessarily resting enough to recover. So maybe there are things that we could look at with matching your fuel and your recovery intake specifically for your body, for your nutrigenomics to help support, healthy telomere length. Maybe there's stuff that we could do with your sleep and recovery to make sure